Hi, my name is Jacob Livermore. I am a freelance location manager based here in Brisbane, Queensland. I have been a location manager for 5 years and have worked in the film and television industry coming on 13 years this year. My first show as location manager was the Channel 7 TV series Wanted, starring Rebecca Gibney. That took us everywhere from Brisbane out west to Warwick and Stanthorpe and as far north as Port Douglas in Queensland. I've worked on all 3 series of The Family Law, worked on Safe Harbour, the SBS miniseries, all 3 seasons of Harrow, the incredibly challenging miniseries that was the Paul Hogan Channel 7 miniseries, along with various other different shows. So I got into the film industry in a little bit of a different way. I didn't study at film school. I actually studied architecture at QUT, so I have a bachelor and a master's degree in architecture. I really like architecture and I still love design, and I do love keeping up with that, and I found a way to, include it in what I do in a unique little way. As part of architecture, we were required to do we had to do 2 years of experience working in the field. I had a job at a firm here in Brisbane. Unfortunately, myself, along with all the other students, all lost our jobs in 2007 when the GFC happened. And that's when I started kind of really pursuing the film industry. I was volunteering for free on commercials, working on music videos, directing lots of short films and making my own stuff to try and get a foothold in the industry. I was first introduced to film actually because I used to perform. Before I studied architecture, I did Bachelor of Fine Arts Dance at QUT and was performing in a few music videos for Powderfinger and The Living End, Sleepy Jackson, and I found myself staring at the camera and the lights and the controlled chaos of the crew and everything that was sort of happening around me, and was immediately addicted to what I was seeing. So that I then kept on dancing and performing for quite a few years whilst I was then studying architecture. And then, when the GFC happened, everything changed quite dramatically, and I thought, I've started to make some contacts in film. I'm really interested in film. I'm just going to, go full down that path and just see what happens. And luckily for me, it worked. I did a lot of work for free, which I'm not condoning in any way. But I was able to get in, meet the people that I had to meet, be good at what I did, and explore the different avenues and different directions that you can take to get to a place in the film industry that you might be interested in. I started off assistant directing. I worked on some of the big films down on the Gold Coast, as well as making my own projects. To make decent money, I was filming weddings on the weekends. I had a little business that started up and got quite busy and started to be a good little earner for myself. Whilst I was kind of getting that momentum and that traction in the film industry, luckily enough, I got to a point where that took over and started to become my full-time position. So I stopped filming weddings and stopped doing corporate videos and music videos and those other things on the side, and really focused in on what I'm now doing, which is location managing. Getting to this position as a location manager was quite strange. As I said, I was assistant directing and kind of really focusing on that. And one day along came a Screen Queensland internship, with Hoodlum on the Channel 10 show Secrets and Lies, which was a really cool experience. I was the assistant manager on that series and did get to learn a lot from the location manager and obviously the production whilst I was there. I spent a few more years sort of assistant directing and heading down that line, and then Wanted came along, which was originally started by Chris Drew, another location manager. And then I kind of came in and took the reins for a little while after that, and that became my first job, and it snowballed from there. Every other job just kind of seemed to roll into the next one, which has been a really cool, exciting journey over the last 5 years. You get to hit the road and meet lots of interesting people. You get to hear lots of interesting stories. You get to learn things that you would have otherwise not learnt in the real world because you're out there on the ground having these discussions with people. It's fantastic to get out of the city. My favourite thing is to go scouting out of the city, wherever that may be, coastal or out west, forests. It's really exciting, and you've really come across things that you wouldn't have otherwise found. That's probably the best part of the job. It's really fun and dynamic. And then, of course, I am a bit of a sucker and I really, really like the logistical side of things. So, figuring out exactly how we're going to make that work, how we're going to get everyone there, how we're going to feed everyone, how we're going to get everyone home, and make sure it's all done safely. And like I said earlier, my priority is make sure the property owners and stakeholders say that we can come back to film anytime we like. So that's a little bit about being a location manager. Hopefully it gave some insight in my journey to this position. Thanks for listening. See ya.